The machine leg extension is one of the best exercises for training the quads in their fully shortened position. Specifically, it's best for training the rectus femoris, one of the only 4 quad muscles that crosses both the hip and the knee joint. Unlike squats or leg presses, this machine keeps the hip in a flex position, which allows you to load the rectus femoris in its shortened position, which is something that compound lifts don't do very effectively. Start by adjusting the back pad forward or back as needed so that when you sit down, your knees align with the machine's pivot point, which is usually marked by a dot on the machine. You want to keep your knee lined up with this pivot point to ensure that your knee joint moves in line with the machine's mechanics for effective loading and avoiding unnecessary knee pain. Adjust the shin pad so that it sits just above your ankles. If it's too high on the shin, it can shift force directly onto the knee joint. Keeping it lower helps distribute the load through the tibia and the ankle so your quads, not your knees, absorb the tension. If you're someone who tends to be more prone to knee pain during leg extensions, make sure to check your alignment and setup. Once the setup is set to fit your body and limb lengths, slide in and sit with a neutral spine by pushing your ribs down and connecting your back with the seat pad. For this exercise, you want to pull yourself firmly down into the seat, especially as you approach the top of each rep. This machine will naturally try to lift you out and pull your hips forward, so bracing through your core and keeping your hips pulled back into the pad is key. To help do this, grip near to your side or in front of your torso. You want to avoid gripping super far back behind you or overhead, as it can cause your chest and ribs to flare and your back to leave the seat pad, which reduces core engagement and stability. And the more stable your torso is, the more packed your abs are, the better you'll be able to load the weight onto the quads properly. Avoid excessive forward lean or hip flexion. The rectus femoris contributes best when the hips stay near 90 degrees or even slightly reclined to allow full lengthening and shortening during each rep. As you go through the motion, both your knees and toes should point directly up and your feet should move in a straight line with your thighs. If you notice your thighs rolling in or out or your feet rotating off to a side, that's usually a sign of internal or external rotation, and it can place uneven pressure on the medial or lateral knee, which can also cause knee pain. This becomes more common as fatigue sets in, so be intentional. Lock your position in and hold it through the entire set. If you still struggle with alignment, you can try performing single leg extensions to help find better control and stability on each side. For added knee stability, you can think about pulling your toes up. This activates the anterior tibialis, helping support the knee since your calves don't have anything to push against in this open chain position. As you extend, focus on squeezing the quad to pull the shin up and straightening the leg for complete contraction at the top. Because this exercise loads the quads in their shortened position, the top of the movement feels the hardest. This is where the tension is the most concentrated. So, to get the best connection, your goal should be to start the lift slowly at the bottom without momentum and accelerate through the motion up to the top. Then squeeze and hold at the top position for a 1 to 2 second pause. Then you want to make sure you control the eccentric, aka the lowering phase, on the way down. That stretch under load is just as important as the squeeze at the top. The biggest mistake you can make on this machine is turning it into a momentum-based swing. Don't just fling the weight up and drop it down. Focus on intentional, controlled movement, full range of motion, and spending time in the shortened position.